the century-long legend of Samba. When the carnival season arrives in Rio de Janeiro, the entire city transforms into a sea of jubilation. Tens of thousands of dancers adorned in magnificent feather costumes move to deafening drum beats. Their hips sway rapidly, their feet bounce with agility, and every movement pulses with raw vitality and irrepressible passion. This is Samba, the soul of Brazil, an epic written with the body, an eternal hymn about freedom, resistance, and joy. Yet the origins of this dance that captivates the world are steeped in suffering and tears. Every rhythm of Samba carries a tragic history that crossed oceans. Every drumbeat echoes the unyielding cry of a people. Today, let us journey through time to trace this legendary dance from the African continent to the Brazilian coast. Chapter 1. African Roots. The story of Samba begins in the 16th century Atlantic. It was a dark era when millions of Africans were forcibly torn from their homelands, transported across vast oceans, and brought to the Americas as slaves. In cramped ship holds, on foreign plantation fields, they lost their freedom and their families. But there was one thing the colonizers could never take away: their cultural memory. In the regions of Angola and Congo, there existed a traditional dance called Samba, in the local Bantu language. This word means touching of navels, or invitation of the body. Dancers formed circles and, guided by drum rhythms, used hip and abdominal movements to express joy, sorrow, and reverence for the divine. This dance was not merely entertainment, it was a religious ritual, a sacred bond connecting people to their ancestors and to nature. When these Africans were forced to Brazil, they brought Samba to the New World. On the sugarcane plantations of Bahia, along the docks of Rio de Janeiro, slaves would gather after their labor to soothe their weary bodies and spirits through dance and music. Colonial authorities attempted to ban these pagan activities, but cultural power cannot be suppressed. African drum beats merged with Brazilian soil, and a completely new art form was quietly taking shape. Chapter 2. Birth in Brazil. In the late 19th century, Brazil abolished slavery, and masses of freed African Brazilians flooded into cities, especially Rio de Janeiro. They settled in hillside slums, the favelas, and in these crowded yet vibrant communities, African traditions began deep fusion with Portuguese culture and indigenous elements. Near Rio's Praça Onze Square, a group of musicians and dancers began creating a new rhythm. They blended African samba, Brazilian lundu dance, and European polka steps, accompanied by improvised lyrics and rapid percussion. This music was initially called Samba de Roda, where people formed circles and took turns improvising in the center. In 1917, a historic moment arrived. A song titled Pelo Telefone was recorded and released, recognized as the first officially recorded samba music. Though authorship of the song remains disputed, its emergence marked samba's transition from street art to mainstream culture. However, samba's path was far from smooth. In the early 20th century, Brazil's elite class viewed samba as vulgar and immoral. Police frequently raided samba gatherings and arrested participants. But this suppression only sparked stronger cultural identity. Samba became the voice of the underclass, a silent protest against social injustice. Chapter 3. The Golden Age Glory. The 1930s brought tremendous changes to Brazil's political and cultural landscape. After President Getulio Vargas came to power, he implemented nationalist policies and recognized that samba could be a vital tool for shaping Brazilian national identity. The government stopped suppressing samba and instead began supporting and formalizing this art form. In 1928, the first Escola de Samba was established in Rio. These schools were actually community organizations, spontaneously formed by favela residents who prepared year-round to present the most spectacular performances during Carnival. Each school had its own theme, costumes, music, and choreography, with members pouring all their passion and creativity into their work. Competition between samba schools drove rapid artistic advancement. Dance movements became more complex and precise. Costume designs grew increasingly lavish and spectacular, and musical arrangements became grander. The Rio Carnival gradually evolved into the world's most magnificent cultural celebration, attracting millions of visitors annually. This period also produced many legendary figures. Carmen Miranda brought samba to Hollywood, and her iconic fruit headdress and passionate performances introduced Brazilian culture to the world. Composer Ari Barroso's Aquarela do Brasil became Brazil's unofficial national anthem. Samba was no longer just favela art, it became the pride of an entire nation. Chapter 4. Evolution and diversification of styles. As samba spread, different regions and communities developed distinctive styles. In Rio, samba no pi became the carnival mainstream, emphasizing individual improvisation and rapid footwork. Dancers needed to maintain relatively stable upper bodies while executing complex movements with their hips and feet, requiring exceptional body control. In ballrooms, samba de gafieira was more elegant and romantic. This partner dance incorporated elements of tango and waltz, with male and female dancers working in close coordination to complete spins, dips, and fancy moves in fast rhythm. It showcased samba's more refined and urbanized side. In northeastern Brazil, samba de roda retained more African traditional elements, with dancers forming circles, clapping hands for accompaniment, and moving more freely and improvisationally. In 2005, UNESCO inscribed Bahia's Samba de Roda on the list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity, recognizing its historical and cultural value. In the late 20th century, samba continued evolving. The pagode style emerged in the 1980s with lighter rhythms and more colloquial lyrics, becoming the preferred music for parties and gatherings. Samba reggae fused reggae elements and became popular in cities like Salvador. Samba proved its powerful vitality and adaptability. Chapter 5. Cultural significance and social impact. Samba dance is far more than entertainment. It plays a profound and complex role in Brazilian society. For Afro-Brazilians, samba is a symbol of identity, a memorial to ancestors, and a way to maintain dignity amid historical oppression. Every dance is a declaration of freedom and equality. In Rio's favelas, samba schools are the core of community cohesion. They provide young people with belonging and purpose, keeping them away from crime and drugs. The process of preparing for carnival cultivates teamwork, artistic creation, and professional skills. Many have changed their destinies through samba, becoming professional dancers, musicians, or costume designers. Samba also breaks down social class barriers. During carnival, rich and poor, white and black, locals and tourists all merge into the same rhythm. While this temporary equality cannot solve Brazil's deep social problems, it demonstrates a possibility of vision of a more inclusive and joyful society. For women, samba dance holds special significance. In a traditionally male-dominated society, samba dancers challenge stereotypes about how women should behave by displaying the power and beauty of their bodies. Their confidence and sensuality are not about pleasing others, but about self-expression and empowerment. Ending eternal rhythm. Today, samba dance has spread worldwide. In dance studios in Tokyo, Paris, and New York, people learn this Brazilian art form. Every year, the Rio Carnival reaches billions of viewers globally through television and internet broadcasts, allowing them to experience that incomparable passion. But samba's true meaning extends far beyond steps and music. It is a story about resilience, about how a people maintained joy amid suffering, how they created beauty under oppression. It reminds us that culture cannot be conquered, that the human spirit cannot be bound. When the drums sound, when bodies begin to move, it is more than just a dance. It is the echo of history, the call of ancestors, the celebration of life itself. Samba tells us, no matter how much suffering we endure, as long as we can still dance, there is hope. As long as we can still sing, there is tomorrow. This is samba, the soul of passion, the eternal rhythm, Brazil's most precious gift to the world.